Hey guys, I'm Zan,
I'm Oli, and we're the
and we're the
Invincibles.
Invincibles. Yes, we got it.
We got
Finally,
it.
that was
That was good.
beautiful. Second episode, right? Absolutely. What's up, guys? We got a lot to stuff to talk about today, right? The Elimination Chamber just happened last night. We got fresh reactions. We also did a live stream on Instagram Live. Check us out on Invincibles Pod at on Instagram and social media stuff like that. I'll let you know more stuff about that. I'll let you talk about that in a bit.
Invincibles
Or go ahead.
_pod on both Instagram and Twitter.
Perfect. And yeah, so that's where we're going to be posting all of our stuff, clips from our podcast, try to kind of build a nerdy community, because that's what we're all about, having positive vibes all around with people that love to talk about nerdy stuff. So yeah, we got the Elimination Chamber. We got the fresh reactions out of that. We got some DCU news, right? James Gunn saying that we're going to get some new casting in the next 6 months. Hopefully get some Superman news, because I'm super excited about that. We got some Marvel news, right? Oli, you saw.
Yes, very, very exciting. Didn't really expect to be, getting any news about that anytime soon, but there we go. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much. For those wondering, what are we talking about? Tom Holland is supposedly the main lead in Kang Dynasty in the Avengers. Hell yeah, I'm so excited about that.
Apparently, in the same report, they said that Spider-Man 4 will be coming out before Kang Dynasty. So.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like that. Yes, I'm so excited. We got a lot to talk about today, guys. And
yeah,
last but not least, Oli, you have your view of Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, that maybe will not be getting as much time as we hoped, because there's not many good things to say about it.
Damn, you really did not like that movie, huh? You did not rate that.
Well, we'll save that till last. We want to keep the vibe quite positive.
All right, bro. So let's get to it, man. Elimination Chamber, WWE's probably one of the best shows they've run in a while. What were your thoughts about it?
I'm probably a bit biased when I say Clash at the Castle's the best show Triple H has put on, but I think trying to just look at it from a neutral perspective, this might be the best show Triple H has done.
You think so?
Like, yeah, besides like the Brock and Bobby match, which was okay because it's set up something to come in the future. It was a brilliant show. Every match was really, really good. And should we talk about the main event first, because that's the big one?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main event. Let's just talk about the main event, bro. Like, that was exciting, bro. That was really, really good. The standing ovation that Sami got. They were sitting in the ring, him and Roman, for 5 minutes. And can we talk about just how energetic that Montreal crowd was? And they kept cheering, F you, Roman, F you, Roman. Like, it was insane, bro.
Like, I think Sami said in the press conference after I watched the press conference this morning when I woke up, or this afternoon when I woke up, because of the time difference. But Sami said that it's the longest ovation that arena, the Bell Centre, has ever seen in its history. Like, someone told him that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a historic night, definitely. And I was thinking during that moment, that 5 minutes, Roman is more than just a top level heel now. Like, sort of linking to what you were saying last week, he's become so much more than that. He's a full blown movie villain. He's like Thanos level type stuff.
So to kind of piggyback originally what you're saying, I still think the best show Triple H has run is SummerSlam, because just that crazy main event, it was fresh off of the heels of Vince McMahon. A lot of Vince's storylines were really stale. The only thing I kind of liked outside of the Bloodline stuff was Austin Theory. Like, I thought that was super dope, man. Like, he was just funny. Vince McMahon's golden boy winning the United States title. Like, I don't know. Like, I love me some heel Austin Theory, bro. Like, he's so good. And I'm so happy he retained at the Elimination Chamber, which we should talk about too later. Yeah, but no, I mean, I think a lot of Vince's bookings were really stale, and they were really uninspired. And it got to the point where I'm not watching the show. I'm watching the YouTube clips after. I'm watching the Instagram. Like, I'm scrolling on Instagram to see the highlights of the show instead of actually watching the show, because everything else is so tedious. And when Triple H kind of took over and that SummerSlam show is there, And it was just such a comic booky main event, like Brock taking the tractor and like destroying Roman still coming on
so
top
good.
and burying him. It was just so massively entertaining. So I still think that's the best show. But I think Elimination Chamber, this just had the most hype going into it. Like Ariel Helwani, is covering this. You have GSP, George St. Pierre, covering this. You got like people on social media, people, like I forget the name, the rapper 21 Savage. He's tweeting about Roman Reigns, like, yo,
really?
head of the table. Yeah, like, bro, like that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, wrestling has become mainstream because of the bloodline and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And so like and so when you look at that aspect of what Triple H's bookings have kind of brought to the show and that kind of hype leading into it, there was an element of believability that Sami could actually win. Like tonight was a night. It wasn't like Drew at Clash of the Castle where you more bought in as the match was going on more. But just like the storyline leading in, you truly believe this could actually happen. And there's precedence, right?
The near falls in the match just added to that as well.
Yeah.
Roman
Sami
is a master of that.
Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of them are experts in the 2.999999 seconds kick count.
Yeah, like Sami got, pingo balled between Jimmy and the ropes multiple times, got super kicked multiple times, and he still kicked out. So leading the match, like I'm saying, like the build up before the match, there was an element of that John Cena energy that Sami Zayn had, where he would slay the beast, he would beat the bad guy, he would save the day. Like you truly believed it, especially in the promo from Cody and Sami, where he's saying like finish the story.
Yeah.
So like there was truly that hype. Now, obviously, we kind of all knew that Roman would probably win, but I truly think that, humbly, respectfully, I think it was the bad choice. I think Sami should have won.
I think we'll be able to truly assess whether it was the right or wrong choice with how they move forward from it. Because say they do end up doing, fingers crossed they don't do this, but Usos versus KO and Sami, if that's what ends up happening, then definitely the wrong choice. But if Sami is somehow involved in the main event, like we talked about on Instagram last night, if they end up doing triple threat, if that's what ends up happening, then it was the right choice.
It has to happen, bro. Like
the story deserves it.
Yeah, first of all, Triple H, you listen to the fans. You gave Daniel Bryan a chance. You hated CM Punk. Everybody hates CM Punk. You put him, like, to be fair, you should have put him over at Clash of Champions all those years ago. But you still put him in the main event, had him title holder, like longest WWE title holder, I think, like 400 days. And then The Rock's streak. So Triple H, you do listen to the fans. You do put people over. It is Sami's time. You started this as a way to refresh in the story because the bloodline was getting stale. You needed a comedic act. You wanted to put Roman as more of that rock star heel, that Stone Cold Steve Austin vibe. Sami is lovable. It worked. But now the story organically built up into something more. And now Sami is a legitimate babyface who can take Roman down. He has an edge to his character now that, excuse me, wasn't there before. So I truly believe that they've kind of written themselves in a corner with Cody because the fans, I feel like, have more hype with Sami, but they love Cody. But here's the thing. Cody isn't like Edge, right? Kayfabe-wise, where he has a problem with somebody joining his main event. He said he wants to wrestle the best no matter what. So the story is there for Cody and Sami and Roman.
Yeah, definitely.
It's time.
Yeah, because if, say, on Raw tomorrow night, Cody comes out and does a promo, he mentions that he could easily say Sami deserves another shot. It didn't go down fairly.
Yeah,
I want him to be in the main event as well. Or they've got to do it somehow. If Cody's the one who says I want Sami in the main event, because that gets him over as a babyface even more, which is what they want. So, yeah.
No, I mean that would be the brilliant way to do it, and then Roman could be like, "Do not want to face me 1-on-1 because I've smashed everybody" or something like that. So you have the story there. Like Triple H, please look at the social media. Bruce Pritchard, whoever is there, Vince McMahon, because the report from Dave Meltzer, and I really hope it's BS, is that Vince still has some creative control on the Bloodline story. I really hope that's fake. Even though Vince did a pretty good job with it, it really blew up when Triple H took over. That's my hot take. I apologize. But like, I really don't rate Vince, bro. And I don't want him creatively back, bro. And it is such a Vince McMahon idea for them to go for the tag titles with Sami and KO. That's such a downgrade. I'm sorry. It's not a prestigious title. No kid at school is going like, you know what? I want to be in the WWE universe, a tag team title holder. Nobody says that. Nobody wants that. You build up the tag titles with the Usos, with like with D-Generation X, with any legendary tag team, with New Day. Those teams make the titles, and it's just different with world titles. It just is. So by having Sami in the main event at WrestleMania 39 with Cody and Roman, is that not Hollywood? Is that not like excuse me, sorry about that. Is that not the biggest way to get the show and the most, eyes on your product, especially with The Rock not being there? Like, is that not what you want?
That's got to be the biggest way. That it's already going to be a big draw with it, being Hollywood. But with getting all three of them in the main event, that'll get the money, that'll get the tickets sold, that'll get the views, more than just Roman versus Cody.
And I would sacrifice a tag team's title match in favor for a more built up women's title match.
Yeah, definitely.
So give the women more shine. Don't put that, like, nobody wants to see that. I'm sorry, the tag titles is such a downgrade from the main event. The story is there. Sami was standing tall while Roman left, and we're expected to believe he still wouldn't feel some type of way and not go for the world championship still.
I've just came up with an idea as you were talking about the tag team thing. It planted something in my brain. Okay, fantasy booking time. Let's go. Mm-hmm. So do you remember when Kofi Mania happened? There was like a tag team gauntlet match, and say if the New Day won that, then did he win? If they won that, he got the shot at Mania. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and AJ Styles made him tap out.
Yeah. But do you remember what the Usos did during that match?
Yeah, they didn't. Was that the match where they were like, we forfeit?
Yeah. So that's got me thinking. If something similar to that happens, some sort of gauntlet match, maybe Sami and KO, if they win this gauntlet match, Sami gets added to the match, becomes a triple threat, and the final opponent is the Usos. Jay super kicks Jimmy and then forfeits.
Oh my God, bro. And that would elevate, bro, you would explode. Like, Jey Uso would be the biggest face. Like, it would be Jay. And bro, like, how brilliant is this when you really think about it? Roman Reigns has been such a dominant heel, and we've had such a lack of dominant baby faces that now, because of him, you are exploding with baby faces. Potentially Jey Uso being a mega superstar. KO being, I would say he's a mega superstar. You heard the crowd in Montreal. Sami Zayn, wanting to be the main event. Cody Rhodes potentially bringing down the bloodline for his dad. Like, shout out to Roman Reigns. That character alone has single-handedly propelled the company. Like, shout out to Joe, But
have you seen the statistic that Roman achieved today?
900 something days as champion.
Well, his total number of days as champion across all of his reigns has now surpassed that of John Cena.
No way.
Yeah.
Then he's better than John Cena. Then I mean, every time they face in the ring, though. But every time they face in the ring, Roman did beat him, right? If we're going by kayfabe.
That's true.
So, but I don't know. I think overall, bro, like that would be the way to book it, and especially with Jey Uso, and I was saying this to you last night. I thought the show ended on a surprisingly lighthearted note, like Sami standing tall, the bloodline being defeated, Solo not showing up. Like, So why would you keep Sami standing tall if you wouldn't make him a strong character? Like if he's gonna be a strong character, why would you then delegate him to the tag titles? I don't care about the tag titles. The tag titles, like the story's built up more from that, and we're supposed to expect that KO and Sami are gonna reconciliate and then just go for him anyway. And we don't know how Jay feels. We don't know how Jay feels. And if I'm sorry, but if Jay feels some type of way that Sami speared him and then he betrays him, like that's such stupid like booking. Triple H, please, we can predict. Like, sorry, I'm so passionate about this world, but like we can predict what's gonna happen in the storyline, right? Like we all know, like look at social media, look at Twitter, look at your Instagram comments. We all know what's going to happen if you're going to go to the predictable Vince McMahon route. Please put Sami in the main event. Please, if you're going to have him go for the tag titles, have the tag titles, go with Ollie's booking, and then also have him be in the main event. But please have him in the main event. Please. Here's what I want, right? If they're going to do a triple threat, night one main event, either you start off the show with the women's title match or you end the show with the women's title match. But I don't want to sideline the women for the bloodline in a lot of the men's matches because Bianca, I mean, she is a fantastic wrestler and a fantastic woman and a fantastic soul. And Montez Ford is a lucky man. And I just say, respectfully, of course, respectfully.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you know, Bianca Belair is the champion. She is a fantastic. I would say she's like the John Cena of the women's division. She holds it down. She's on top. She's earned it, and she's entertaining as hell. So like, I want to keep her as the champion as much as possible because the division is so weak. So until somebody else can come along, and
so,
I don't see Asuka.
Would you have Bianca versus Asuka or Charlotte versus Rhea as the main? Say the women's match main event's night one, Roman main event's night two. Would you have Bianca Asuka or Rhea Charlotte main event night one?
Rhea Charlotte got a main event night one.
Yeah, I think there's a bigger story there.
Yeah, mommy has to do it, bro. And also, if you look at the Judgment Day, there's an element of their silly heels that do dark stuff, that do bad shit, you know. So it's like they are. There's like that comedic element with them that the Bloodline doesn't have. Bloodline is a serious storyline, right? Yeah. But Rhea Ripley is an element in that silly Judgment Day story that is popular, over, and a legitimate threat, right? So it's like, and the character is really, really intense. Like Rhea Ripley is, she has that it factor. She has that charisma that you can't teach, you just have, right? The story is there, right? At WrestleMania 37 or 36, they had that long match for the NXT women's title, and Charlotte went over when really it should have been Rhea. The story is there. I want mommy to destroy Charlotte. I want her to rip her apart. So if that's what's going to happen and they're going to elevate, you know, mommy to a superstar, because in my opinion, she should be the face of the women's division. So like Rhea Ripley, like she's, I'm going to say this right now, bro. She's already one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Like she's just so technically, and I mean, like I would say top 25. That's where I would put Rhea Ripley. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like
the way she's been presented as well, like the look, the theme song, which is one of my favorites. It's so perfect. Well, it's every aspect of the character, but especially the wrestling as well. It's just she's brilliant. One of my favorites.
She's just a badass. She's like she's that heel you can't hate. Like when she smashed Beth Phoenix, like with the concerto, I was like, you know, I'm like, if this is what women feel when they see Roman do bad stuff to other people, then I guess this is how I feel when, you know, mommy does that to other people. I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like, she's just a fantastic wrestler. So I don't want the men's matches to overtake the women's wrestling, right? Like I think that's unfair when you have talent like Bianca and Rhea there. I kind of wished it was Bianca versus Rhea at WrestleMania. That would have been, maybe they build up to that. Maybe next year's WrestleMania. I don't know.
I think that'd be the better match in terms of like the in ring action. But if they did that, I think I'd want a longer build to it. I'd want a proper feud with like maybe a trilogy between them. But that's just selfish because they're both my favorites.
Yeah, no, I love them, man. Like, I thought the women's division would fall apart after Sasha left, and it really hasn't. So, like, you know, shout out to them. But like, even though it's considerably weaker than AEW and stuff and New Japan. But that's a hot take. But I would say
Really?
that.
Oh,
I would say
I'm not
so.
a fan of AEW's women's division at the minute.
All right, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about the future. But yeah, we could. Yeah, but we don't only watch WWE here, guys. We watch all pro wrestling here. So no, I mean, I think where was I going with that? I would want that to be the main event. Charlotte and Rhea. I just don't see Bianca and Asuka being like a huge match. It'll be a fun, memorable one. But I think if that isn't the case, I would maybe have the women start off with the main event, like, you know, start off with the title match to night one. Then in the middle have, you know, the Bianca Asuka match or whatever, and then I would end the night with, here's how I would book a Jay versus Jimmy WrestleMania match.
Oh, okay, go on.
Yeah, that's how I would book it, because I would see Roman kick out the Bloodline after last night, or kick Jay out the Bloodline after last night. I could see that. Or build up to it. Maybe start to be more paranoid, and then Jay still finally snaps. So maybe Jimmy has to discipline Jay to keep him in line at WrestleMania. Otherwise, Jimmy's out too. And you know, maybe Jay defeats Jimmy, and then Roman goes like that or something, throws him away, and then Jimmy feels some type of way, and Jay's like, "See, I told you, like, I told you." And then at night too, they both super kick Roman or something.
Yeah.
And you know, and they both super kick Solo or something like that. And Sami wins. So that's how I would book it. WrestleMania. That's a WrestleMania match. Jay versus Jimmy. You don't need to do a huge build up. You don't need a huge long program. That's just an enticing match in itself, and the implications of it itself is a WrestleMania main event. That's the way to go.
The tag team champions facing each other in the main event. That just sells. Yeah. You don't need a big build. That sells itself. And everyone who's been watching the Bloodline story for the past 3 years, you know, you don't need. Yeah, it's brilliant. That'd be a perfect match.
That's how I would do it, bro. But we'll see. We'll see. Because if they're not going to do... Because also, I know some people are saying Roman defends one title each night. But then it's like, if Roman loses on night one, is it as memorable losing night two? You know, is the balloon deflated a bit?
I would. So... I don't think I want I don't think I want him to defend one in each night. The triple threat, just him losing it on the final match of night two. You know, it's a huge moment to end the biggest WrestleMania of all time that, you know, they're promoting it as. It's a big moment to end that on. So yeah, I think we've just booked the perfect WrestleMania there.
Hey, Bruce Pritchard, hit us up at Invincibles Pod, please. We'll write some programs for you. You know, but you know, before we kind of move on to the DC stuff, bro, let's also talk about the other matches, right? Like Asuka, she dominated. What'd you think of that match?
I thought that match was really good. I was enjoying it loads, probably until like the last 5 minutes. This is just me being a bit picky. I thought like the final few eliminations happened too quickly. But maybe that's because they needed, you know, cut a bit of time or whatever. But I would have liked seeing the last few eliminations spread out a bit, maybe go a bit longer. But the in-ring action was great. Liv Morgan doing the sunset flip powerbomb from the top of the pod. Yeah. She's really sort of built herself back up well since losing the SmackDown Women's title, I think. And yeah, Asuka destroying everyone. I think it's good to see Carmella back as well. Like I didn't think she'd been missed as much, but she has been really missed. Like her character is great, and yeah, it's good to see her back. What did you think of the match?
I mean, I thought it was really entertaining, especially the bit where Raquel just smashed Nikki Cross through the pod, the chamber pod. I thought it was entertaining. It's just like, I just wish there was better writers for the women's division, more entertaining storylines that then we're getting, because I get bored a lot, and it sucks because they're fantastic athletes, and I like them as individual wrestlers, but their storylines are just not engaging. But I thought the match was good. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the Edge match with Beth, I'm just so bored of, the only thing Judgment that I really like is Rhea. So like, I'm just kind of so bored with that angle. I saw that Edge is, you know, on Monday he's going to challenge Austin Theory for the U.S. title. So, and we all know that Balor's probably going to cost him, like, so
Yeah,
it
start
just
their build for
he's not going to be.
WrestleMania, won't they? Probably.
Yeah, I don't really care for it. Like, whatever, sure. And then Bobby and Brock. Like, I thought that was a complete wasted opportunity. That was a waste of a match.
Yeah, it's so clear they just want to, do it at Mania. But if you're gonna do it at Mania, why give us the match now? Just have them brawl on Raw a few more times. But it looks like it's going to be like a no DQ match at Mania, which that'll be good. But I just want that match to happen so bad, and it's come close to happening, and then there's been screwy finishes every single time. But yeah, I was let down a bit by that.
I think, well, one, they advertised it so that we would watch the pay-per-view, so like we would tune in.
Yeah, probably.
And then two, and then two, I mean, I think if they do it at WrestleMania, man, I just hope they go crazy with the no disqualification. I don't want it to just be regular falls and moves. I want there to be like kendo sticks, metal ladders, barbed wire. Like, I want it to be intense. Like,
Texas
like,
Deathmatch.
Yeah, like, seriously, like, because if WWE does AEW better than AEW, like, you're destroying the competition. Even though they wouldn't do a lot of the stuff like bleeding and stuff, but I still think, like, if they're gonna do it at WrestleMania, make it worth their time. I don't want it to just be another match.
I could see them doing like a last man standing, maybe. Because Brock's good at those type of matches, so.
And Bobby would have to go over because he keeps getting screwed over. Like, so I would have Bobby go, maybe triumphantly, maybe epic, but they have to make it as adrenaline filled as possible. I don't want it to just be another match. So that was just kind of And then, the chamber match for the US title, I thought that was awesome. The number one thing I kept thinking was Montez is a star, bro. Like, it's his time.
That was
he should be at WrestleMania.
Absolutely star-making performance. Not just for Montez. Montez was like the MVP of that match, but it was a star-making performance for every single person in there. Well, Seth Rollins is, already a star. Bronson Reed is a fucking beast. When the way he sold, when Johnny Gargano was on his shoulders, and then Seth, jumped off, did the clothesline on Johnny, poison ran. The way Bronson sold that was incredible. Johnny that wasn't Johnny Gargano, that was Johnny Takeover. Johnny Takeover has returned. It was so good to see Johnny performing like that on the main roster, doing all those high spots. Damian Priest he's just Damian Priest, and you know what you're getting from him. What did you think of when Logan Paul got involved in it?
I was really surprised because the number one, I kind of wanted to see Austin Theory take on Seth Rollins and beat him like fair and square, and just say it's my time, it's my, it's A-Town down or something. But having a screwy finish is very in character, and Logan Paul knows how to wrestle. He can put on star-studded. He can put on studded performances. Like, he's earned the right to be at WrestleMania. So there's a lot of wrestlers in the industry in the world that can't wrestle like him. So like, he's earned it. And I would say that Seth versus Logan, I just want it to be entertaining. I just want the promos to be absolutely fire. I mean, Seth Rollins can really play around with the Tokyo body thing.
Oh, like, imagine he brings that up.
Or the crypto, scam that Logan was caught in. Seth, because Seth, he's willing to go below the belt. Like, remember what he did with Riddle? Like, your kids don't want to see your bitch ass anymore and stuff like that.
I can just imagine Seth doing a promo like, "Oh, I've wrestled all around the world. People like me, indie wrestlers, we wrestle all around the world in Japan. Oh, but you can't do that, can you, Logan?" Something like that. Obviously, that'd be a lot better than that. But
no, I mean, bro, we're writing it right now. Like, Seth versus Logan, that's not for the title. So I just want it to be as entertaining as absolutely possible. And I think in the ring, they're going to be fantastic. But I want Seth to go over. I'm not having Seth lose to Logan Paul.
Seth, after he's took so many losses on pay-per-views like the past few years, he needs to win that.
Mm-hmm.
So, another thing I'm excited for with that is the sort of part of the build up to it, like the media coverage, because obviously there's going to be a lot of eyes on that because of Logan Paul. We're going to see a lot of Seth Rollins in like mainstream media,
Right.
interviews, things like that. Get him on a few talk shows as well. Seth deserves that platform because, in my opinion, he's like the best of all time. He's my favorite of all time. So yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah. I just love him. Just love him.
I mean, I would definitely say like Seth is better than Shawn Michaels and stuff. I would say that. Like, no disrespect to Shawn, no disrespect to Shawn, but you can't move like Seth can. Seth is also, in my opinion, a better shit talker. He's better on the mic than Shawn. Yeah. I would definitely have Seth over Shawn. That's my hot take. I don't know, bro. I mean, there's just a lot that I would just take over Seth over Shawn. That's a whole other bit. But I didn't know
Seth is also the best live action Joker of all time. After last night.
Seth, listen, Seth was fantastic in that. Seth, as the Joker, and Becky as the Batman. Like, that was awesome. Like,
yeah.
I would love to see Seth Rollins as an Elseworlds Joker, like maybe, hey, James Gunn, cast Seth Rollins. I mean, we did get the news, bro, that and the next 6 months we're going to get casting news for the upcoming DCU stuff. So yeah, here's the slate, and let's just kind of talk about everything DC going on, because I think it will be organized going forward, but right now it's still kind of a mess. So it's just so the audience understands, because unfortunately it hasn't been as connected as Marvel, or nor nearly as well planned. So at March 17th of this year, we have Shazam: Fury of the Gods. It's on track to be a box office flop, which really sucks. I really like Zachary Levi.
It's a shame, because I love the first Shazam film, and there's some good talent in the film. Like Rachel Zegler, this is after West Side Story. This is like a big role for her, but it's a shame that she might not go much further in the DCU after this because of everything that's going on. So yeah, it feels weird, because we know this is like the end basically for these characters.
I just feel like the Shazam, it's not memorable. That's the issue. And a world of oversaturated comic book films, it's not memorable. You're not going to remember it. So yeah, it's probably going to get axed after this film. We have The Flash coming out June 23rd, 2023 of this year, which I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty awesome. I'm going to watch that. I'm pretty excited. It looks pretty awesome.
I know pretty cool.
I know our friend Max really hates on the film, but like, I think it looks cool. The concept of Barry Allen going back to save his mom, but then creating a world of a world of no superheroes, which starts Man of Steel in a situation where there is no Superman to stop from Zod, so they have to go get Supergirl. I mean,
yeah,
it's Flashpoint copy paste, but it's like enjoyable copy paste, and I'm excited, bro. The visuals in the trailer look cool, and every time I see a Kryptonian fly in the sky, I just love it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. The trailer has sold me on it. It's good to see Michael Keaton back as well, because he's just brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah. And bro, he was throwing hands, like he was flipping upside down, and they were throwing. And everybody on Twitter, I know everybody's saying bad CGI. Bro, just watch the movie. Like, are you fun at parties? Like, are you fun at parties? Like, it's like what wrestling. You watch wrestling, somebody's like, well, that's fake. Oh, he stood there way too long, bro. Come on, watch the movie, man. We're watching The Flash. Nobody can run in real freaking speed or real super speed. Like, relax a little. Like, let's have some fun. Like, sheesh. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. Everybody on Twitter is a comic book connoisseur and film critic, and it's annoying. Yeah. But anyway. August 18th of this year, we have the Blue Beetle. I don't know anything about this character, I'll admit it.
Yeah, me neither. I know our friend Nacho is quite excited for this one. And this was just meant to be like a HBO Max exclusive, but now it's getting a theatrical release, I believe. So that shows that they've got a bit of faith in it. And it's the kid from I can't remember his name. It's from Cobra Kai, isn't he?
Yeah,
the TV show.
Sholomar Dueña. I know I butchered the name. I'm trying to be respectful, but Sholomar Dueña. I try my best to read it. But yeah, he's Cobra Kai. I'm sure it's going to be good. James Gunn said that it's going to be a part of the DCU going forward. So I guess there's that.
Yeah.
Next, we have my boy Aquaman, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It releases December 25th, 2023. This film is really interesting. It has had multiple story reshoots. It has had multiple rewrites that's been pushed back specifically for the rewrites, but all the reports are saying that it is not due to the connectivity of the DCU, but rather around the Aquaman character and the lore and the story. So for the audience, I just need you guys to look at this. I'm about to, like I am an Aquaman diehard fan. I love this character. I love Aquaman, right? The Dan Abnett run, I love it. The Jeff Parker runs, I love it because Aquaman is a character of a lot of a lot of facets in the character, right? Like with Peter Parker, you have the scientist, you have the reporter, you have the crime element, you have the family element, and some story arcs, focus on specific angles. I don't like the stories of Aquaman that kind of talk about him being a king and being a political leader all the time. I kind of like the adventurous side, the treasure hunting side, the Black Manta side of stuff. The Atlantis stuff can kind of be boring. Like I want the ocean wildlife side of stuff, and that's what I like. And then also, let me just show you guys this. Like I love Aquaman. I got the Aquaman Andromeda run. It's a limited 3-issue DC Black Label series. Please watch Aquaman, or please read a lot of Aquaman. I love the character. He's just so cool. But I say that to say, as an Aquaman fan, the first Aquaman movie was enjoyable. It was fun, but it wasn't thought-provoking on that critical level. It was a feel-good, positive movie, and I do believe there is a space in movies nowadays for that. I feel like everything is trying to be a thought piece. There is an element where I truly love just the positive, feel-good movies, and Aquaman did that, and it was really fun to watch, and the character was really well. Jason Momoa is the best infusion of revitalizing a dead character in a long time. Like he has done a lot with the character. He's influenced the character. I love what Jason Momoa is doing. So I say all of that to say, as a diehard Aquaman fan, I really hope the changes to the Aquaman story are that it's more thought-provoking, a bit more, like the jump from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight, I hope is Aquaman and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Jason Momoa said, a lot of the story he pitched, that he wrote, he wanted it more serious, and that he wanted to talk about the environmental issues and like the more aquatic side of issues. James Wan said he wanted a comedic angle with the buddy cop stuff with Orm and Arthur. So I really hope the movie delivers, because I really love the Aquaman character, and I don't know the future of the character in the DCU going forward. So I really think that what they wrote with Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom is that they made changes to the story about if Arthur Curry is going to come back. And I think the ending is going to be vague enough to where he won't come back, but open enough to where he could for a third, depending on the movie's success, which I think is going to be great because it's made $1 billion freaking dollars, first round. So yeah, that's my take on the Aquaman thing. I think it's going to be specific story angles. I hope to be more serious and to make more of an everlasting Aquaman story, not just a feel-good movie, which I love, but I want something more critical. But yeah, that's December 25th. Sorry to go on my Aquaman right. We got Joker. We got Joker Folia due October 4th. Did you see the picture of Joker and Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn?
It's going to be a musical, that one as well, isn't it? So that'll be fun.
Yep. And do you think it's going to be more of an art housey film? How do you think it's going to fare compared to the first?
Yeah, it'll probably be quite indie, quite unique, very artsy. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lady Gaga, because I don't think I've told you this, but one of my favorite films of all time is A Star Is Born from 2018.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was phenomenal in that. So seeing her as Harley Quinn, I think her take on the character would be really interesting, and seeing it in the tone of the Joker universe as well. It's gonna be a success, I think. What do you think?
Oh, I think so, and I really think this can be an opportunity to show just how manipulative Joker is to Harley Quinn, because the relationship is really romanticized, and musicals are romantic typically. So, what better way than to show it than the use of this medium?
Yeah, Suicide Squad in 2016 tried to show that relationship, but it didn't get given enough time. Like you said, it romanticized it. So this is a whole film about just those two. So yeah, I think that it'll do it justice.
So Superman Legacy comes out July 11th, 2025. Then we have Batman Part 2 October. So let's talk about Superman first. Superman Legacy. What are your hopes?
I'm just hoping for a Superman story that's that does the character justice. Funny, Justice League does it justice. Because like Man of Steel was, it's all right, but it's not a proper Superman film. I want the Superman that we got with Christopher Reeve back in the day, with like the Superman from the Justice League animated movies and TV shows, and because they're adapting the comics, like they've been very faithful to the comics. So as James Gunn says, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I don't really have anyone in mind who I'd like to see yet, because it's not going to be Henry Cavill, is it? They've said that, so no. Yeah, I'm open to whoever James Gunn wants to pick. Really, I'm just looking forward to see who he chooses. Do you have anyone in mind
for these new movies? Like, I really hope they're all actors we don't know. That way, I can just see them as actors 100% in their roles versus I'm comparing them to their past work, And I just want original new actors, young actors. Yeah, I don't care who it is, as long as the characters just bring life and like exuberance, That's all I want. I want there to be charisma. Like with Superman, he's got to be somebody, like James Gunn said, he's somebody whose worst fear is hurting somebody. So I want somebody who's genuinely a nice guy. He's so nice that he empowers you. That is what character Superman is. Henry Cavill was not given scripts that allowed him to do that. He himself, when he was promised the role to come back as Superman, unfortunately, and then they took it from him, or although James Gunn said they never hired him, but, The Rock and his company, they did Henry dirty by playing him like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, just bringing Henry back just to establish The Rock's foot in the DC universe, it's not real estate, bro. Anyway, and we also don't need him for WrestleMania, but that's a whole other take. But no, I mean, I think Henry Cavill coming back as Superman would have been cool if he was given a script that showed him as a more joyful Superman, like he himself said, right? So he wasn't given that. So whatever new actor we get, I just want it brand new slate. I don't want the Snyderverse attached. Just get brand new actors. And I just hope the script of Superman Legacy is a story focused around Clark, the Daily Planet, his supporting cast, and just a story about being kind to people and just being a nice person. Like something that empowers people, but also being super badass and Superman-y too,
Yeah.
Metallo as the villain. Like put Metallo as the villain. Boom.
Yeah, because we've seen, even though Lex Luthor's, the typical like arch nemesis, we've seen it probably too many times. So get someone fresh like that who we haven't seen on screen before. Yeah, I'd love that.
Boom. Yeah, and that'd be amazing. I'm super excited for Superman Legacy. That year is going to be really great because we got Avengers movies as well with Superman Legacy. So, and then Batman Part 2, which is coming out October 3rd, 2025. I want Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze, Gotham City is flooded, bro. It's flooded. Perfect opportunity to put in Mr. Freeze and talk about the health inequity, like the healthcare system and how it's, not equitable. Like, boom. And you could really go the horror angle of Mr. Freeze freezing everybody.
Yeah, that's he's one of the best Batman villains. He's one of my favorite Batman villains. Just playing the Arkham City game. He's so good in that game. That's where I really fell in love with the character. So yeah, I think that would be great. My main hope though for Batman 2 is that they come back to Liverpool to film it again.
What was it like?
Oh, it was great. So they set up the courtyard, the court house scene. When the car drives into the funeral. They set that up outside St George's Hall near Liverpool Lime Street train station, and they set that up in March 2020, literally just before the lockdown happened. And I was in my first year of uni at the time, living in student accommodation, literally 5 minutes up the street. So when I'd be like walking into town, I'd walk past all the Gotham City police cars, all the police barricades and stuff like that. So I got to see it up really close because there was no COVID protocol, because it was before that all happened. But then the shooting never began because of COVID. So they came back in October, started filming. The people were crowding around outside the train station, like for hours on end every single day. I went down, got a few pictures, got to see a Gotham City bus up close.
That is awesome.
And then they also filmed on the Liver building, which is, it's iconic. It's, it's when you think of Liverpool, you think of that. And so that they used that as the police station when he dives out off the building. So to see that being from Liverpool was awesome. And a little Easter egg that only people from Liverpool will know about in the film is when it's like a wide shot of like the funeral at the courthouse or St George's Hall, as we call it. If you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a yellow bus stop, and it has the yellow M, which stands for Mersey Travel, on it. If you looked at very closely, so they left a yellow Liverpool bus stop in the film. So
that is cool, bro.
So to go off on a tangent there, but I just love the connection.
No, but Liverpool looks just like how I would envision Gotham City then, because it was. Did they shoot all of it in Liverpool?
They shot. I think what I heard was 75% of the film. So
wow, awesome.
There was a few locations. There was the two I've just talked about, and then there was another one a bit further out of town. I can't remember what that one's called. But then they shot it. The scene at the end when they're in the graveyard. Mm-hmm. Part of that was shot at in Glasgow, and part of it was shot in like near Everton Stadium, just literally about 5-10 minutes away from Everton Stadium, and wow. in North Liverpool. So yeah, I've also, I don't have it anywhere near me, so I can't show it to our viewers, but I've got a comic book, like a special edition comic book of Batman swinging from the Liver building. That was like an exclusive. So yeah.
Dude, that is it's a Liverpool Football Club, man. Make up the Batman inspired third kit or something, man. Like black charcoal gray and the dark red. Like that would be make it happen because Liverpool look brilliant.
Well, I think Everton have beat us to that because their owner owns the Liver building, and they released limited edition like Batman shirts and like Superman t-shirts with the Everton logo on them. So Everton have beat us to that, unfortunately.
Well, they'll never beat Liverpool in titles though, so at least there's that. But
yeah, and they're going down this season, but there's a conversation for another
time. Yeah, hopefully we get some viewers who are also Everton fans. But yeah, no. So my pick for Batman 2, I don't care what they do. I just want to see Mr. Freeze. I just want to see Mr. Freeze. I know Matt Reeves said that he wants to see, what do you call, like Hush. He's a big fan of Hush, but that to me is a boring choice. It could be cool how he does it, but we already did the serial killer angle with Riddler. I don't want them to redo that. Like Mr. Freeze, let's go. Come on, let's go, Mr. Freeze time. So then, yeah, and then we have Supergirl, World of Tomorrow. No announced date. No any news. All is that it's based off of Tom King, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Are you familiar with the comic book?
Nope.
So
I'd love to get my hands on it, but it's sold out.
Yeah, pretty much Supergirl, right? To the audience who doesn't know, she was raised on a chunk of Krypton, right? And her people were wiped out. So she saw her people die in front of her, and she was sent to Earth. But by the time she was sent to Earth, Clark or Kal-El was already an adult, and they were cousins and stuff. So that's pretty much the rough, horribly explained version of it. But like how people need to understand is Kara wasn't raised by loving parents like Clark was because her parents were killed, right? And she saw it happen. So she's a much darker, jaded character than Clark is. Clark is the goody, I won't hurt people. Kara is a bit more darker and jaded with life. So this story is for her 18th birthday or 21st birthday. She's trying to go to a galaxy with a red planet so she can get drunk and celebrate her birthday. That's just what she wants to do. But she meets peeps, alien refugees along the way that need her help, and pretty much it's a story about her helping people and overcoming her demons. So that's what the movie's going to be about. It's going to be like a space war epic. So
that sounds incredible. That sounds really entertaining.
Yeah. I really hope they keep Sasha Kaye as Supergirl because she looked awesome in the trailer.
Yeah, it's like because normally in the comics it's like she's just got a skirt, she's blonde. That's what she's like in the TV show as well. So it's a different look, and the suit is great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Just touching on Supergirl quick again. I had no idea that about her origin, that she was like just raised on a chunk of Krypton. My only real sort of experience was the TV show, and in the intro to that, it's just she was sent to Earth to protect Clark or something, but her pod got knocked off course, and then that's all you hear. Mm-hmm. That's why she arrived late. And that's so lazy. But yeah, so I'm hearing the actual origin, you realize that's so lazy.
Yeah, no, it really is, bro. Like Supergirl is a cool character. Like I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited for this film. I really hope they get somebody like a Robert Eggers or something to make that. That would be awesome. But I don't know if you would ever do that. I don't know if you would ever do that.
We can hope.
Then we got the Brave and the Bold. So the DCU main Batman line. This will be a Batman and Robin film with Damian Wayne. So it'll be a Batman film that focuses on the Bat family. So it's completely different from the Batman. But here's my thing, bro. The Batman universe, Matt Reeves' universe, is already just so brilliantly crafted. So my interest in the DCU one is kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's at least they've got a good 2-3 years to prepare for it. So yeah, I love the Batman Brave and the Bold TV show. I don't know if it's going to be anything like that in terms of tone, but just that name gets me thinking about the TV show again, because that was the one I grew up watching. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but obviously not as excited because we already have a Batman.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Robin, but I thought Robin would be a part in Robert Pattinson's Batman. So it's like, why would I care about this one? So I don't know what they're doing. I hope they don't creatively limit themselves because they need to have a DCU Batman. Like I hope Matt Reeves just does his own thing and isn't creatively limited. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not that excited about it. It's cool to see Robin and Damian Wayne. I hope they get a brown actor to play Damian Wayne because he is half our up, but outside of that, I don't really care. We'll see. Whatever. And all we know is Grace Randolph was full of it. She said that it's going to be Christian Bale or Val Kilmer or George Clooney, and James Gunn tweeted and said they're getting a new actor. So that rumor is not true. And then then we have the Swamp Thing. That's a horror film. It's going to presumably be rated R, about the origins of the Swamp Thing, and it kind of ties into the greater story that James Gunn's trying to tell. So that's going to be super exciting. DC does horror very well. Then we have the Authority, not Triple H, but we have the DC Authority, about characters from DC's Wildstorm universe, and they're about taking justice in a more violent way. And they're like this James Gunn's Guardians of this universe, pretty much. That's his Guardians type project.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all the DC films. That's not even talking about Lanterns, Creature Commandos, and the other TV shows I forget. Waller, that's going to also be on HBO Max. So a lot of DC stuff coming out, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, bro. I mean, I'm admittedly more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan, but I love Aquaman. I love Superman. So if those are characters done right, especially Batman, I'm happy. But speaking of the MCU, right, let's talk about the current, right? Like Austin Theory. Let's talk about the now. We just had a recent MCU movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. You saw it. I didn't watch it, but you watched it. What'd you think?
Didn't really enjoy it that much. If I had to sum it up in one word, I'd just say underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah, I think the main reason most MCU fans, most Marvel fans in general, going to watch this is because it's the first film with Kang, right?
Right.
And so you'd expect that the film really establishes him as a fucking badass who, and a really terrifying villain, because Kevin Feige said they want him to be seen on the same level as Thanos. You'd expect that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't really do that. Have you seen this? Have you seen spoilers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
spoiler warning, guys.
Yeah, spoiler warning. Kang, or this universe's version of Kang, dies.
Wait, what? That was real?
Yeah. He dies in the most pathetic way imaginable. So at the end of the film, they've sort of destroyed Kang's the core for his multiversal traveling ship or whatever, and they've opened this portal back to outside the quantum realm. Like Hope, her parents, Hank, and what the fuck's Hank's wife's name again?
Janet.
Janet, yeah, Janet. They've got out. Cassie's got out, but Scott is still stuck in the quantum realm, and Kang stops him from going through the portal. Then Hope comes back through the portal. Them three have a fight. Kang gets he gets sort of pushed into the power core thing, and it sort of, and Ant-Man puts the pin particles, and it all shrinks, and it just sort of disappears. Yeah, but then, yeah. Have you seen about the post credit scenes? Can I tell you about that?
Yeah.
So the first post credit scene is what I think is going to be known as the Kang Dynasty. All these different versions of Kang in one place.
Yeah, like all of them, right?
Yeah. And one of them looks like Tutankhamun as well. He's dressed a bit like him, which is quite funny. Yeah, so but that had a bit of a comedic tone to it, that post credit scene, which didn't really fit. And then the second post credit scene was kind of like I think it's a clip from Loki season 2. Let's say that's what I think it is. But yeah, the tone of it was so weird. Like you could tell they were trying to make Kang a big threat, but then, like, when they were building up to it, when they were letting Kang do this powerful speech, it'd just be interrupted by a joke or some humor that was really stupid and cringy. Like this whole thing with MODOK as well. MODOK, don't get me started on that. In in like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon, MODOK's sick in that, isn't he? He's so good in that cartoon. That's like one of my favorite versions of him. In this, do you know who MODOK's revealed to be in this? Yeah,
it's Darren, right?
Yeah, and he's just bald. So he just looks like a massive egg, right? And there's a whole joke bit like at the end where he's talking to Cassie, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to be a dick," and then he ends up helping them. Yeah. Yeah. There's a.
So is that Peyton Reed's directing?
I've no idea at this point, because Peyton Reed he's a more than capable director. Ant-Man 1 was great. Ant-Man 2 was good. It was all right. And then the episodes of Mandalorian that Peyton Reed has directed are really good. So I don't know. There's too much. It suffered from the same kind of thing that Thor: Love and Thunder suffered from, in terms that it's trying to be serious, it's trying to be funny, and it doesn't mesh well. That's my thoughts on it, and it didn't feel as consequential as you'd want it to feel with the introduction of Kang. That's my main takeaway from it. Yeah, it's just that's why it was so underwhelming for me.
So is Phase 5 off to a strong start, in your opinion?
No.
You made me choke on my ice cream. It was really, so if you had to rate it 1 out of 10, what would you rate it?
I rated it on Letterboxd 2.5 out of 5, but probably that was like instant first reaction, and that it's probably gone down since then. So I'd probably rate it 2 out of 5, so about 4 out of 10.
Wow. It was really. So was it poorly written, or was it written? Was it written like lazily? Probably
a bit of both. There's some of the things I hate most in films is when they think the audience is stupid. You know, when something happens and they just then the character says something, like when they arrive in the quantum realm, Scott and Cassie, they get approached by these people, and they're clearly from the quantum realm, and then Cassie just says, "Oh my god, there's quantum people in the quantum realm." Like, yeah, we know that. We just saw them. We just saw them arrive on our screen. You don't need to tell us that. You know what I mean?
I agree.
There's loads of moments like that, and that really winds you up because, like, you're making your audience feel stupid there.
So that's what my question was. Was it more a movie like you did not like because it was missed opportunities, or was the product just genuinely that subpar?
Probably the missed opportunities, I'd say. Because we know what's coming with Kang. We know he's getting 2 Avengers movies, and the introduction in Loki. So you expected more, and I think those expectations did let it down. But on top of that, it just, the script wasn't great. The dialogue was poor.
So like, because when I watched Loki, right, and the season 6 or episode 6 of season 1, when He Who Remains said, "And if you think I'm bad, just wait until you see my variants," and you just hear the ominous music, it's like, this dude's gonna be horrifying. And then at the real end, when Loki looks up into the statue of Kang, you're like, oh my god, like, what is happening? So I guess what I'm saying is Ant-Man Quantumania did not deliver on that dread.
It had hints of it. Like, he talks, like when he first meets Ant-Man, he says, "You're an Avenger. Have I killed you before?" They all blur into one. So there's moments, and he hints about all these Avengers he's killed across so many different timelines, but then he gets killed in the most pathetic way. So there's hints of it, but then it just lets you down at the end.
So is he actually dead? Do you feel like he survived? Because if it's Kang Dynasty, then which Kang is coming?
Well, in the post-credit scene, when the Kangs are like talking to each other, they mention something about, "Oh, so he's dead." So from that, I'm assuming he is, but obviously you never know.
I think what the MCU kind of struggling with right now is that they don't really have a central main character, right? Like before it was Cap and Tony, right? And there hasn't been that main character, like, you know, and especially with Chadwick Boseman passing away, so you can't really rely on the of the Black Panther franchise. They're still trying to get their you know, establish their legacy with Shuri. So and I don't see them kind of building around her. But you know, if they did, I wouldn't care, but I just don't see that. So we just found out news, however, that the main character of the first Avengers film, Kang Dynasty, will be Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It will be Peter Parker. He will be the main character. He will be the lead. And then we'll get Secret Wars, and then we are also getting Spider-Man 4 before Kang Dynasty, if I'm correct. So
that was in the same report as the one that said Tom Holland would be the lead. So, I'm excited.
Bro, Spider-Man is gonna be leading the Avengers, bro. That is hype, bro. I am hype. That is gonna be insane.
Every time I get let down by Marvel or I'm disappointed in them, they just have to just release something that just reels me back in. Yeah. Every single time.
So I mean, bro, like they're really making Spider-Man like he is him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they really are, like, because you had the ending of No Way Home. He was fantastic in No Way Home. He's no longer Spider-Boy anymore. He's Spider-Man. We have Daredevil Born Again. We have the rumors of Born Again directly playing into Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man's probably going to help out with Kingpin in Spider-Man 4. Probably going to get Scorpion in there. Daredevil's probably going to be in there, you know? And then you have Kang Dynasty. I think Spider-Man is going to be complete badass by the time we get to the Avengers, bro.
I hope so. And it makes sense because Tom Holland himself is a big box office draw. So this could be a very, very big film at the box office in terms of like how much money it makes with him at the forefront.
I mean, I just didn't expect Tom Holland to be the main character of Spider-Man or of Avengers because of Sony, right? Like but I guess Marvel and Sony really do love each other. Like, I guess they're like, okay, go ahead. Our property is gonna be your main character. He will be now. I don't know if he's leading the Avengers story wise. That's probably gonna be Cap or Carol. But the fact that he's the lead, he has the most screen time. Where do you think, to kind of finish off the show, bro? Because I've been talking too much. But to finish off the show, where do you think they're gonna take Tom Holland's character, like fantasy book, the Spider-Man character, up until the Avengers?
Do you want me to fantasy book a good movie or fantasy book my ideal one?
Dude, fantasy book it. Here we can end the show
All
like
right.
this. Take as much time as you need. Fantasy book how you would write the character of Spider-Man in any project from right now and to the end of Kang Dynasty.
So I think me and you share the opinion that Spider-Man 4 needs to not include Zendaya or Jacob. I think it needs to be just Spider-Man with all new characters at university. Street level sort of stuff. And then for Kang Dynasty, selfishly because it's multiverse stuff, I really want to see Andrew and Toby again. But Toby has said, he said he'd be up for coming back again, if it's right and if it does the character justice. And you know how much Andrew Garfield loves Spider-Man, so he'd be up for it. So something with them where he needs help and he knows, I can travel to a different multiverse now. And he's like, yeah, I'll just go and get my brothers, my Spider Bros, for help.
Yeah, yep.
He travels to their universes. Maybe has a couple of stops on the way. When he accidentally drops into a different universe, maybe we see Spider-Man Noir. Maybe we see I don't know, Spider Pig or Spider Ham, and something like that, maybe. But obviously, you think that might take up quite a bit of the runtime, but if it's anything like Endgame, it'll be like 3 hours. So that's my selfish fantasy booking for Spider-Man.
That's a good angle. So here's how I would take it. Spider-Man 4, I would make definitely street. Like I would make, here, let me see if I could find it here. But one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time is, can't find it right now. It is Peter David's Death of Gene DeWolf. Okay. That's one of my favorite Spider-Man stories ever. It's just a crime story that involves Daredevil and Kingpin and Spider-Man and the Sin Eater, who is a serial killer, and he kills people who feels like are sinful and wrong. So he kills Spider-Man's police friend, Jean DeWolf, who also, they had a romantic connection. Spider-Man also already has the black suit influence, so he's already in a very rageful attitude. And then Daredevil, he's a lawyer. He has to defend a lot of murderers and people in court, so Spider-Man already has tension with Daredevil, and it kind of blows over when she's dead. So Daredevil is trying to stop Spider-Man from killing him, and they actually get into a fight, and Spider-Man and Daredevil have a pretty violent fight. And so it's like a crime story about humanity and anger and just rage. And it's pretty similar, if you really think about it, to how Matt Reeves probably took inspiration from the Batman, because there's a lot of similarities in Peter David's work and Jeff Loeb's work and stuff like that. And a lot of the same styles helped to influence the Batman. So that same formula could work in Spider-Man 4 with that crime angle. So that's how I would make it. I would make it very street level. I don't know which story angle they need to make it, but just that vibe of Death of Gene DeWolf, just that street level, you're aware of your morality, intense vibe. So that's how I would have Spider-Man 4. Main villain has to be Scorpion, have the Kingpin involved somehow, make him a main villain, and have Daredevil in there. Because Spider-Man, I know some people say Spider-Man should have a movie where he stands alone, but Spider-Man works best when he's with characters and stands above them and still shines. So I have no problem if Daredevil's in there, and Charlie Cox would love to do that. And I doubt Sony's going to let them have Spider-Man 4 or have Spider-Man and Daredevil Born Again. So there's a better chance that he's going to be in Spider-Man 4. So just put him in Spider-Man 4. And that's a perfect way to kind of evolve the character and up the ante from No Way Home. So I think it works. Then have some elements of Peter Parker's Spider-Man and Born Again. Like I would really love that. Like I think that would be a way, like if if you're going to have the effects of Born Again into Spider-Man 4, I would love if Spider-Man was in Born Again somehow, some way. But if they're not going to do it and just wait for the payoff of the big film appearance ever since No Way Home, where he's been, that's where I would take it. I would also have a bit of a time gap. So this is going to be in an MCU where President Ross is president, right? Like it's President Ross. So you have the Thunderbolts. So there's this negative attitude to superheroes, I would imagine. So have Spider-Man operate in a world like that, and and make the secret identity super important to him. That has to be a big thing. Never take off the mask. So have more scenes of the mask. In terms of look, please get rid of the CGI suits. Let's make it look a bit more practical, please. Let's make it look more like the Toby and Andrew films. Have a bit of realism in there. Don't make it look so cartoony. Keep the moving lenses, though. Keep that same red and blue suit. That is a brilliant suit. That is the best Spider-Man suit, live action, in my opinion. The red and the baby blue. I love it. Keep that. So don't have any black suit influence until Secret Wars. That's how I would do it. Just keep black suit. Have Spider-Man slowly get into the mindset where the black suit would be an option. Build up to it. So that's how I would do that. And yeah, have Kingpin, have Scorpion, have scenes of actual web swinging cinematography, like Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the Raimi films. Tom Holland's Spider-Man admittedly hasn't had great web swinging sequences. So let's change that. Let's get more camera angles, like the drone camera angle from the one movie that came out with Michael Bay. Jake Gyllenhaal was in the movie. They like robbed an ambulance or something, and the drone was following the action, and it was like a roller coaster perspective. Have that for a Spider-Man film. Come on, like I actually want to get this feeling of web swinging in there. So I have that, and then tonally, don't make it nearly as comedic. Make it a lot more serious and gritty. Have a bit more quipping. Make Spider-Man more like a man now. No more of the Spider-Boy, oh my God, did I just do that? Make him more of a man. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop going over there. Have him more assertive. Have him more masculine. Let's have more of a mature Spider-Man. Have a bit more of an emphasis on the comic book elements, right? Like, so this, maybe have him go to, NYU, delivering pizza, have a broke apartment, struggling rent to rent, struggling making friends, anxiety problems. Have that be a struggle. Make it feel more like the Toby films, but with an original spin on it, I would have a hint to the Fantastic Four somehow, some way.
Oh, okay.
That, because Johnny Storm and Reed Richards, and then finally, last but not least, I would get a new director. Like, I love what John Watts did with the character, but I want a brand new tone, and I want brand new Spider-Man action sequences, and I want scenes that will be memorable, right? Like the train scene in Spider-Man 2 is memorable versus the boat scene in Homecoming is not. There's a difference. So, have a lot more of like that adrenaline rush. Get a new director in there. That's how I would do Spider-Man 4. And then kind of have him in a place where he's mature and he has the experience to help out with Kang Dynasty. Because if you look at the Avengers right now, it's Carol, it's Thor, it's She-Hulk, it's Shang-Chi, it's Shuri, it's Sam Wilson's Captain America. That's a trash lineup. So they could really use some help. So maybe have Spider-Man come in and help out. Like, it fits. That's how I'd book it. Make him a main character. Have him have a story where he's kind of delving into darkness, trying to beat Kang, and then you have the black suit in Secret Wars. Yeah, that's how I would do it. That is over our time, guys. We had a blast doing this episode. Just to round up, we talked about the Elimination Chamber. I'm super excited for WrestleMania. Cody, Sami, and Roman. We talked about the DC slate and movies and what our thoughts and opinions are, and then Oli is not a big fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp, but Spider-Man and that news in the fantasy booking, it's just crazy, just the power Spider-Man has on Marvel alone. A good Spider-Man movie just revitalizes everything. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's the end of this episode. Before we sign off, Oli, do you have anything that the audience should be watching or reading that you want to recommend?
I've got something they should be playing.
Okay.
So, a lot of people who listen to this podcast probably will have already played this, but I've just completed the Uncharted games for the first time, and they're my favourite game series ever. So, really? Everyone who's listening to this who hasn't played Uncharted, I think the Nathan Drake collection is currently $7.99 on PlayStation Store. Buy it. Play them games. some of my favorite games of all time, and I played all 4 in like 2 weeks. So a bit obsessed at the moment.
That's sweet, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, then I'll follow suit if we're talking about video games. I just want to preface this by saying, you know, we do not support like bigotry or like transphobia or racism. We have no place for that. We do not support that. We acknowledge that J.K. Rowling has said a lot of horrible things about the trans community, and we 100% acknowledge that, and we recognize that, and we do not support her in any way at all, 100%. So having said that, because I did not pay for Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like I can play the game because I didn't give her money. You know what I'm saying? So Ellie, hey, I'm just saying, I played Hogwarts Legacy. My cousin gave me the password to Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really fun. It's really fun, bro. It's really fun, bro. Like we might have to do an episode on just the Harry Potter universe and just break that down, bro. Like that's just some, hey, if the audience, if you guys want to hear that, let us know. But no, it's so fun. I was flying around. The combat is actually quite fun. It's really entertaining. I love Lumos. I love everything. Even like the houses. Like I was selected for Gryffindor, but I went for Slytherin. I went for Slytherin because the colors are cooler. Just because the colors. I just love green and silver. So I was like, I'm just gonna go there, and it's cool. The dormitory is underwater, so you already know I was down for that. Aquaman vibes. So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm Slytherin, so I'm excited. But I'm gonna be a good guy. I'm gonna be a good guy, Slytherin. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change up. I'm gonna change it up. Yeah, like every time I like select the answer my character is gonna have, because it's like RPG element like that to finish conversations. I always pick the nice answers. So it's like one is like, please, could you help me out? One is like, you owe me, help me out. Or it's like, do you want me to curse you or something like that? I said, hey, please, can you help me out? So I'm actually well liked in Slytherin House. They're like, you're so nice. You're like unlike a lot of people. So I'm gonna change the culture at Slytherin.
Yes.
Play Hogwarts Legacy. My recommendation is just fun, but obviously if we would love to open the conversation to anybody to change to just educate us on stuff we don't know, right? Like, we're not trans, there's not less stuff we know. We don't want to be ignorant of anything. I'm just talking specifically about the game in terms of it was enjoyable and fun to play, and it's really fun. Like, that's just my perspective on it. So not supporting bigotry at all. But with that is the end of the show. I'm Zan.
I'm Oli.
And
we're the Invincibles.
We're the Invincibles.